Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm here with Gweilo60.
Peace out, man.
Yeah, he's like the YouTuber I found before coming to China, before coming to Nanning City, and yeah.
We met back in January on the food street by the university, and you said that you're going to be setting up a YouTube channel, but then I never heard from you again until, what, just the other day?
Exactly, yes, because then in the end of January I started traveling, going basically all around China to the northernmost part in China to Mohe, and yeah, now I just came back because I got a notice from university, but yeah, that's not part of this video. So I wanted to ask Gweilo, because he's living here for 17 years now, right?
17 years in August.
Yeah, 17 years inside China, and I just came here, so basically he definitely saw China going through like a whole lot of change.
Well, there were still rice paddies on Minzu Dadao when I was here. No, I'm kidding. But it has changed a lot. Like this city, Nanning City, used to be way smaller than it is now. There was hardly any high rises when I got here. The price of properties was about 1,000 RMB a meter. Now it's anywhere from 10 to 20,000 a meter.
It's like times 20 now. Like.
Times 20. When I first came here, a bowl of soup, morning soup, was 1 RMB.
Okay.
Okay.
Noodle soup.
Yeah, your noodle soup. Think Dai Nu Ro or a Guilin
Mifan. Okay.
So, so the idea that everything has grown, but everything has gotten more expensive too. You know, it's one of those things that as things grow, they get more expensive, and but now they've got.
But also the wages rise, I guess.
The wages yeah, of course, because it's the way it is. Inflation, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why China has a hard time competing with places like Vietnam and Laos and the Philippines and Brazil, because it is getting inflated. The wages are going up as prices go up, because if you can't afford a proper life, you can't afford to buy a house, you're not going to be too interested in working that job. So it's just like anywhere else in the world. China is just like anywhere else in the world, but it's better now, because I can go from my place on Hojilu to downtown of a 7 million plus person city, and it cost me 2 or 3 RMB, which is what, 60 cents. You know, a euro, it would be like I don't even know. It would be like 40 cents as far as the euro goes.
Yeah.
But so it's inexpensive. High-speed trains to Guilin, high-speed trains to Shenzhen, Beihai.
But let's stay at the change. So do you know at what time they started to, because you're bringing up high-speed trains, when they built the high-speed railway station?
Well, it depends on where you are. They started in the tier 1 cities, and now.
I mean in Nanning now.
Oh, in Nanning? Yeah. That's about 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah. I remember taking the high-speed train to Guangzhou. Actually, we were going to Hong Kong to deal with my brother-in-law's wife's immigration application to Canada at that time, and we took the high-speed train from Nanning there, and it took us, I think, 3 hours or 3.5 hours. Cost us 200 RMB, 230 RMB, something like that. But the idea that you didn't have to go to an airport, jump on an airplane, because the bus ride to Guangzhou used to be 14 hours.
Okay. By bus,
so,
no train.
Well, you could take the train, but holy smokes, that sucked. I've done that before. We took a train from Shanghai to Nanning. One of those old trains.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough wine.
Wine?
Well, because I brought a whole bag full of wine.
Yeah.
Well, that only lasted for the first day. It was more than a day trip. I didn't know that, but we got to see a lot of rural area and stuff like that. Water buffaloes working in the fields and stuff. That's still the way it is in rural China, but in urban China now, you have beautiful parks like this, but you have high rises, you have high-speed trains, you have subway systems, you have state-of-the-art airports, you have all of the amenities that the Western world strives to have, and all brand new. But here, this is just a normal thing in China, where the Chinese are spoiled. Yeah, spoiled brats. They got it all. They have the American dream here in China.
Yeah, they have, that's also an interesting topic. They have the Zhongguomeng, the Chinese dream actually. And I think the difference between the Chinese dream and the American dream is that in the American dream is that it's about the individual, that each person, they can go from like a poor person to
You
become
can
a
be whatever
millionaire,
you
right?
want to be in the West.
Yeah.
You know?
In China it's like more about developing as a whole, I think.
Well, I think they have more of a team attitude where they approach everything as a group rather than an individual, and I see that a lot with family and friends where. And even with the Discover Guangxi, when I went with China Radio International,
I have to change my arm. It's like really heavy here.
It's not that heavy.
Yeah, but I'm not used to that holding it like this.
China, when I went to the Vietnamese border with a group, Discover Guangxi, it was we had a team. One guy lost his cell phone. The team sort of stuck together and tried to help him find it. Everything we did was basically the team doing it. There was no individualism, and you see that a lot in China, where everybody sort of sticks together, tries to help each other out. You don't really see that in the Western world because it's more everybody for themselves. But that said, in the Western world, if you want to become a doctor, you work hard, you study hard, you go to university, you become a doctor, and that's just the way it is. Here, if you study hard, you get really good marks, you get to go to the best universities, you excel and everything like that too. So there is similarities in education, and in China you can basically be whatever you want to be, just like in the Western world.
And now back to the change of Nanning. What time did they put up when did they start to create the subway system?
The subway system, that's been like 7 or 8 years they've been working on that, but it just opened up, I think about the same time as the trains. Line 1 opened up 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
2015.
The one that goes in front of our place on
so that's 5 years now. Okay.
That's about 5 years.
Quite new then.
And then they've got line 2 was 2 years later. Line 3 was a year after that. Now they're working on line 4 and line 5. So it crisscrosses the city to the point where you can basically go wherever you want in Nanning City now for 5 RMB, I think is the most it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like a buck. You can jump on a subway and go anywhere in the city for a buck.
And we can go further. But one thing I want to show you because of a change. Right now, the biggest change is going on here in Nanning, China, is they are promoting the large funlay a lot. So it means like rubbish distinguishing. So in the different garbage boxes, what they're trying to
recycle.
Yeah, trying to recycle and try to put it into place. Because the problem is when most people live in the big high-rise buildings, like me now in the 30th floor, most people they throw their garbage in one bag and then downstairs put it in one big bin.
Yeah.
And then there are people who sort it out by their hands. And now they want to move to put in a new
sort of like the
place.
Western world where you got to put your bottles here and you got to put your cans here, you got to put your plastics over there.
Yes.
I know, I see that in the malls all the time, and it's one of those things that confuses the hell out of me. As I say, I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
It's garbage. Put it in there. If somebody wants to recycle it, let them.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think we took a wrong turn.
Okay, then let me ask you about in Nanning now, because I came to Nanning and I see in Guangxi University they have around 500 international students.
Okay.
In Nanning City, did you see during the last year like more foreigners coming in, or?
Actually, most of the foreigners left during the coronavirus, and then China shut the door, so they sort of got locked out. But before that, I saw less and less and less foreigners because China's getting more expensive, and a lot of the foreigners are here because they didn't, they had a better life here in China because things were less expensive. But when they got expensive, they started going to places like the Philippines, Laos, Vietnam.
So this is like the
like
English teacher kind of.
Well, not the English teachers, but the older guys, the retired people. Because like I'm an old person and I hang around with the retired. Well, actually, I hang around with a lot of the teachers too. But the teachers started to dwindle. The Western teachers started to dwindle too, because China started hiring Filipino teachers because they speak good English, the same as you and I. And they charge less. They'll work for less. They're harder workers. They're not sitting at the Queen's Head pub every night. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So they're easier to deal with. So you see a lot of the teachers at Guangxi University that have been there, like Big Mike was there for, well, since I came on Hojilu. He's no longer there. So all of these people that I used to know, they're gone now. Like there's very few foreigners that I see in China.
So you would say during the last 10 years it was less foreigners?
Way less foreigners. Way less foreigners.
That's interesting to hear.
Back in 2010, there was foreigners all over the place. Like I had 30, 40 friends here in Nanning. Now all my friends are they're gone. Dave's in Britain. Ronnie got into he went to Sweden because I think his mom passed away, and then they closed the border. So everybody I know is gone right now. So I'm all by myself. You're my only friend, man.
Thanks. So good. Okay. Yeah, I thought actually the opposite. I thought it's becoming more international.
Well,
like
you see a lot more people, students coming from Africa. You see a lot more students coming from places like Russia. You see Middle Eastern countries. You see that, but basically students. And I really don't call them expats. What I call them is they're students. They're coming to China to learn something from China.
Exactly.
And then they're gone. Where expats are people like me that have decided to live in China. And because I love China. China is basically my home now and has been for a number of years. And I don't see it changing anytime soon.
After 17 years in Nanning, I think you saw the city going for like a good change.
Oh yeah, well, Nanning has changed a lot. The people have changed a lot.
How did the people change?
Well, they've become richer. I knew a lot of people back in say 2004, 2005 that were friends that were basically poor. Now they're living in a $1 million RMB home. They're driving a Mercedes Benz or a BMW, or even it doesn't matter, a Wulin van. But the idea is that they have that house and they own it. They have that vehicle and they own it. Their kids are going to university. They have steady jobs. There's no lack of employment here in China because they're building everything so fast. They need workers, and they have lots of workers here in China. And so everybody's got a job. Everybody's got a business. Everybody's got an income. All of the kids are going to school, university. The parents are working. Everybody is happy now. It's weird. It's not like the West.
But like 10 years ago, people were also happy, I guess.
Well, they were happy, but they were poor.
They didn't
there was more poor people 10 years ago than there is now. Chinese are very resilient people. If they don't have a lot of money, they deal with it. If they have to work and make more money, they deal with it. It's not like the West.
Yeah, this is I experienced this also when I came here, and for terms of change and development, I have to say there's a lot of things in China which develop like differently, or which they are like further more developed than Germany. For instance, like the shared bicycle thing. I think it was you said.
They're everywhere. 3 years ago, they're freaking bikes everywhere, and there was so much competition. There was thousands of bikes on every street. And it became a problem. You couldn't walk down the sidewalk. They ended up in piles. They ended up in garbage dumps is where most of them ended up. And now there's only, I think, 2.
Yeah, it's like the Alipay ones and Mobikes still exist. And
Mobikes, I think, were
there's another
the ones
green one too.
But
what I want to say,
there's less of them now.
Yeah. My point here is that in many parts, like especially like new technologies, with phones, with payment like WeChat payment, Ali payment, China is super far. And for instance, if I take the subway, I can just use the QR code and scan it to get into the...
And on your Huawei phone, right?
Yeah, on my Huawei phone, of course. Yeah.
You don't use an iPhone?
No, I never used the iPhone.
No, I don't use an iPhone. I had an iPhone and I love my iPhone. I got the Huawei phone. I haven't touched my iPhone since. It's like, whoa, like this is like an iPhone on steroids. Like seriously, the cameras. I got 4 cameras. It zooms in, zooms out. It's like, it's faster. The battery lasts
It's good,
way
yeah, I'm
longer.
happy.
It's like it's just a better unit.
Yeah, and you found a way to install YouTube. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I have yes, I have a VPN on my Huawei phone. I have a VPN on my home phone, or on my home computer. I have a VPN on my laptop computer.
Yeah.
And you know what? When I was talking with the Chinese government, Nanning Foreign Affairs, when I was in quarantine, they said, "Well, how do you get this on YouTube?" And I said, "I use a VPN."
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, okay." So everybody out there that says VPNs are illegal in China, that's just bullshit. That's just not true. You know,
Yeah, it's just not
VPNs
true,
are
yeah.
normal.
Yeah, there is a way to get them if you know how to get them, and yeah, if you want to have.
I think
If you want to have
selling VPN, if you build a VPN in China and sell it to Chinese people, I think that's where you get into the legal bullshit. But
Yeah.
if the VPN is done in, say, Southern California, like Express VPN or something like that, and you buy it, I don't think there's any foul.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this business.
Well,
yeah,
but no, seriously, I get that all the time on my channel. Well, you can't use a VPN because that's illegal, boy. And I'm thinking, no, it's not.
no, it's not illegal.
No,
right?
it's not. It's like, only in your mind is it illegal. And only if you're an American from the southeastern United States with a hillbilly haircut and 3 teeth.
Yeah. And there's also nothing which says that YouTube is forbidden in China or Facebook is forbidden in China. It's just that it's not accessible, like without a VPN.
I'm actually going to make a video about all of this stuff in the future, and I'd get into it, but I'd ramble on for another 30 minutes.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, so I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you again.
Bye now.